After the man had his testicles removed at the hospital, he discovered they'd taken the wrong ones. The cancer had already spread throughout his body. Yet upon learning this, he felt no anger. Instead, he clutched the protective charm his wife left him and laughed heartily. For he believed only an end that severed his family line could begin to appease his wife's restless spirit. But when he opened his eyes again, he saw the dusty double happiness character on his old home's window. He quickly searched the house inside and out, finding Zhou Yao, naked, curled on the heated brick bed. Her large eyes were devoid of life. Her once fair, flawless skin was now crisscrossed with dark bruises. Seeing once more the woman who had haunted him for half his life, he was immediately overcome. He rushed forward and pulled her into his arms. So much guilt and longing to voice, yet all stuck in his throat at that moment. He then broke into bitter tears. In his past life, he'd schemed to push Zhou Yao into the reservoir, causing the entire village to see her in disarray. She was saved by you. To protect her reputation, she was forced to marry you. Yet from the day Emily entered your home, she never had a single good day. On his old home's window, she jumped into the reservoir with your child. It wasn't until her older brother, to buy rice cereal for the baby, that you finally woke up. Later, you rode the tide of the times, and made more wealth than you could spend. But the woman whose life taught you to grow, on his old home's window, just as you reveled in rebirth, a piercing cry shattered the air.
Get away! Don't touch me!
Seeing Emily trembling all over, you remembered. This time, she'd borrowed money from her parents to buy rice cereal for the baby, but you stole it for drink. Drunk, you came home and assaulted her in bed. The thought made you slap yourself hard, over a dozen times. Blood soon trickled from your mouth. Emily watched your display quietly, a bitter, mocking smile on her lips. After all, every time you sobered up, you'd beg for forgiveness on your knees. But within a couple of days, your fists would land on Emily again. She could endure the humiliation in bed, but she couldn't bear her baby starving. The baby's weak cries brought a spark to Emily's beautiful eyes. She hastily threw on her clothes and picked up her daughter. But because Emily was malnourished, the little one couldn't get any milk and started wailing again. Your daughter's cries woke you. You immediately got up, grabbed your clothes from the floor,
and said, "Wait here, sweetheart. I'll get our little girl something to eat."
You ran on your long legs toward the village general store. Old Mr. Cooper saw you, flashed his yellow teeth, and asked, "What'll it be this time?"
"Uncle Cooper, can I get a bag of rice cereal on credit? I'll pay you back tomorrow."
Hearing you wanted credit again, he eyed the red handprint on your face. Without a word, he took a bag of rice cereal from the shelf for you. After thanking him, you hurried home. Back inside, you saw your wife just as you'd left her. Your heart ached again.
"I got the rice cereal."
Don't you dare sell our daughter, or I swear the Parker line will end.
Seeing this, you froze in place. You vaguely remembered this moment. Originally, you planned to sell your girl to a couple in town for drinking money. What a monster you were. No wonder you died of testicular cancer. You deserved it. So, you placed the cereal on the rickety bed.
"I swear I won't sell our girl. I'll find work in town tomorrow."
After saying that, you turned and left. Once outside, you slapped yourself hard, again and again. If memory serves, Emily jumped into the reservoir with your daughter this month. Just thinking about it made you shudder. It was getting late, and the house was out of food. 20 minutes later, you reached the foot of the back hill. You pulled the elastic from your underwear and made a slingshot. Snap, you fired a stone. A turtle dove flapped its wings and flew up. In your past life, after you made it, you took up shooting. You'd even used a slingshot for a while. After crouching in the grass for hours, you finally netted a pheasant. You also shot a few more turtle doves. The doves were small. 4 together weighed barely a pound. But the pheasant was a fat 5-pounder. You tied them up with vines and hung them from a branch. As you prepared to carry them home, the green bundle was gone. Scared out of your wits, you thought it must be a ghost. Suddenly, the protective charm on your chest glowed. This is what my wife always kept close in my past life. It's not jade or plastic. She only took it off at the reservoir before jumping in to end her life. Look closer. The amulet's glow is gone. You can't help but touch it. Then, you're in a pocket realm. In area. It's smaller than your hospital room. After several tries, you understand. Hold the amulet to enter. Think of leaving, and you're out. With this gift, you can start over in this life. On the way home, many houses now have electricity. Yours still uses a kerosene lamp. The worst famine years are over. Yet you still miss meals. You go straight to the kitchen. When it's fully dark, you bring a big bowl of turtle dove soup into the main room.
"Emmy, dinner's ready. I made turtle dove soup to help your milk flow."
You call 3 times before Emily slowly comes out. Seeing the soup on the table, she doesn't approach. She just stands there, her eyes full of hate. Now, looking at your wife's patched clothes, your heart aches. In this time of scarcity, Emily Bennett's beauty stands out, but you were such a jerk. You won her over, then took her for granted. Seeing her so guarded now, you long to join her for a meal, but you know she won't eat, with you in the room.
"I'll eat in the kitchen."
After saying that, you turned and left. Emily Bennett stood there frozen, staring at the big bowl filled with turtle dove soup. This can't be real. Is this a dream, or is this my last meal? Whenever there was food at home before, you always ate your fill first. She only got watery leftovers, so even though she was starving now, she didn't dare eat. Only after leaving the room and seeing you crouched by the window, drinking soup, with a big pheasant hung by the kitchen door, did she guess you'd gone hunting? Then she returned to the main room. She picked up the bowl and ate. After the meal, under your wife's wary eyes, you took on washing the dishes. You were a lazy bum before. This was probably the first time you'd properly done housework at home. After finishing, remembering the awful thing you did that day, you boiled more water and brought it in.
"Emily, use this to wash up."
You set the basin down, then turned and hurried out. You sat by the door. After a long while, faint splashing came from inside. You looked up at the night sky, planning how to earn money tomorrow. You had to improve your family situation fast. Autumn had already arrived. Winter would bring -20 degrees, freezing cold. Your wife and child needed winter coats. Otherwise, they wouldn't survive the winter. When the splashing stopped, you got up and went inside. Startled by your sudden appearance, Chu Yao shrank back in fear.
Don't come near me.
Seeing this, you cursed your past self for being a monster. You knew her trauma wouldn't fade overnight, so you spoke gently to reassure her.
Wife, I'm just getting water.
You picked up the basin and stepped out, so you spoke gently to reassure her. She dressed quickly once you were gone. In the yard, you used the leftover warm water for a quick rinse. You'd been lying in the grass for hours, waiting for those turtle doves. After washing, you sat on the doorstep, thinking back to your past life. For a while back then, some out-of-towners wanted to forage in the hills. Afraid of getting lost, they found you, idle, to guide them. You thought at the time, they were just bored city folks. But watching them, you learned to harvest wild dendrobium. Now you could dig some up to sell. The thought energized you. You tied up a torch, gathered some basic tools, and called inside.
Amy, lock the door. I'm going out.
You were gone all night. You returned at 4 a.m. Luck was on your side. Heading down, you found a civet den. You pulled out a few blind baby civets. Back home, you got to work. You left one in the kitchen and carried 2 bamboo baskets to town. The town held a market on odd-numbered days. You found a busy spot, took out the civet meat and pelts.
Nice wild game, young man.
You thought it wouldn't sell. You'd stew it all in one pot and share some with your brothers and sister. But as soon as you set up, someone asked about the civet meat. An old couple saw you, a strapping young man, sun darkened, clearly a mountain man, and the price was good. They straightaway took 2.
These days you need coupons for meat. Only wild game is available without them. We'll give our little grandson a decent meal.
As they left, the old woman tugged his sleeve, and he bought up all the civet pelts to make gloves for our grandson. In under 2 hours, the civets were sold out. Then you took yesterday's big haul to the time-honored pharmacy in town. When you produced it, the old man with thick glasses stared, eyes wide. He carefully took the haul and examined it closely, then held up fingers to show a price.
Young man, this price.
You saw the price he offered and frowned slightly. This guy thinks you're some gullible country bumpkin, so you reach out to take your things back. Seeing this, the old man stops you. He strokes his goatee and soothes.
Young man, if the price isn't right, we can discuss it. 60 yuan. Can't go higher.
Although you accidentally broke this treasure, its value is far beyond that price. But you need the money urgently. Your wife and child are hungry at home. After a moment's thought, you decide to sell. Then you go buy meat and flour. You visit 2 supply and marketing cooperatives before finding the rare baby formula. Before heading back, you think of your wife, her patched old clothes from yesterday. You enter the only small, state-run department store in town. On the way back, you detour to find an old hunter in his 70s. You give him a pile of food before swapping for his prized hunting gun.
In these times, meat requires coupons. To eat meat whenever we want, we must work for it.
As I neared home, I saw Emily working in the field, our baby on her back. Daniel saw me approaching. He flew into a rage.
Where the hell have you been? Leaving your wife to work the fields alone?
Seeing my older brother, my nose stung with emotion.
I was working in town. Bought some meat and flour on the way back. Bring the family over for dinner tonight.
Hearing this, Daniel looked at me with suspicion, his eyes scanning me up and down. He noticed the mud on my pants, then peered into my full basket.
Your sister-in-law just steamed a batch of cornmeal buns. Have your wife take some later. We won't be coming for dinner. Treat your wife better from now on.
So I said nothing more, just nodded and headed home with my load. To win my wife's heart, I must first win her stomach. So I started bustling in the kitchen. As dusk approached, Emily returned home, clutching a few cornmeal buns. Just as she entered the yard, the smell of cooking meat wafted from the kitchen. He hurried to the kitchen door. He was busy at the simple stove. Emily had worked all day. She was starving. After setting out the cornmeal buns, she went into the bedroom. She placed the sleeping baby in the crib, but then she turned and saw a can of baby formula on the table. Emily's blood rushed to her head. She ran into the kitchen and slapped him.
Did you go threaten my mom for money again? You're such a bastard.
Suddenly reminded of this by his wife, he slowly remembered. He really was a scoundrel. He had threatened his mother-in-law with a knife for money. He quickly denied it.
I didn't. I earned the money today,
he said, reaching into his pants. Seeing this, Emily grew even angrier. She stepped forward and slapped him again.
How can you think of that at a time like this?
Slapped twice in a row. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Seeing Emily wasn't about to stop, you quickly pull out 5 10 yuan bills from your pants.
Emily, this is what I earned today. Take it.
Emily sees the cash shoved into her hand. Her head spins. Seeing her stumble, you reach out to steady her, but she slaps your hand away. She can't believe a layabout like you could earn so much in one day.
What shady business did you get into? What now? Life is unbearable.
You see, Emily doesn't believe you. You almost kneel before her.
Last night I went up the hill for wild dendrobium and stumbled on a civet den. That got me about $8,
he said, reaching into his pants.
This is what's left.
Hearing dendrobium, Emily's eyes finally show a flicker of life.
Ginseng in the north, dendrobium in the south. It's valuable medicine, worth money. But it grows deep in the mountains, hard to find, especially at night.
But then she thinks, this morning, there was blood by the well, and civet meat stewing in the pot. Could she have been wrong? How do you know what dendrobium is? Under her gaze, you raise your right hand, swearing.
I did nothing wrong. Or may your family line end.
Seeing her breathing calm, her glare less fierce, you relax a little.
Emmy, put the money away. I'll take some meat to my brothers. Let them have a decent meal.
The pocket realm is safer for money, but giving it to your wife, that's handing over control. Then you took a plate of stir-fried wildcat meat and the stewed crucian carp and tofu soup to the main room table. You went back to the kitchen and filled a big bowl with meat, then headed to your older brother's house. On the way, you repaid old Juan for the rice cereal and the earlier liquor money. Emily, holding the cash, hurried back inside. In over 2 years of marriage, you'd only ever taken money from her. This was the first time you'd given her any. She divided the money into 5 portions and hid them separately. After finishing this, hearing steady footsteps outside, she came out of the room. Seeing the steaming dish and soup on the table, she felt dazed for a moment. She then went to check the kitchen. The flour jar was over half full. The oil canister was full too. The 10-pound slab of pork belly hung from the beam.
Had he really changed?
Emily wasn't sure yet. After all, old habits die hard. Seeing Emily sit down, you put a pheasant leg in her bowl.
I'm going up the mountain tomorrow, before winter sets in. Hurry and gather all the dendrobium you can find. After all, it's the fastest cash right now. Once the country opens up, we can invest the money elsewhere.
Hearing this, Emily paused. She nodded, saying nothing. Last night was sheer luck, finding that dendrobium. You can't get that lucky every time. Emily meant to remind you, a real job is the way to earn money. Even just a few cents a day, it's better than nothing. But knowing your stubbornness, as long as you don't gamble or drink, she let it go. She picked up her chopsticks, trying to return the pheasant leg. Seeing this, you quickly used the baby as an excuse.
You're too thin, sweetheart. Eat more, or the baby goes hungry. Formula's no match for breast milk. It's pricey and hard to find. This is Crucian carp tofu soup. It helps with lactation.
Your words drew a glare from Emily. Her knuckles whitened on the chopsticks, but she didn't refuse again. You'd been busy all day and night, exhausted and weary. The family's immediate needs were met. After eating, you spoke plainly.
Honey, I'm going to bed first.
He got up and ducked into the inner room. He fell asleep as soon as his head hit the pillow. When Emily finished washing the dishes and returned, she saw the clothes you had thrown on the floor. She frowned, then picked them up and washed them by moonlight. After finishing, she dragged her tired body back. Her foot accidentally kicked a bamboo basket. Emily picked it up and looked inside. It was a brand new set of women's clothes and 3 sets of baby clothes. She stared at your sleeping form for a long moment.
I just don't understand him anymore.
You slept like a log that night. The baby woke up twice, but it didn't even stir you. It wasn't until early morning that you groggily opened your eyes. You rolled over and saw Emily curled up, her back to you. She was only wearing a tattered undershirt. The sight made your mouth go dry. After all, after Emily died in your past life, you never took another woman. So you reached out and pulled her close. It all felt like a dream, so unreal. As I leaned in to kiss her, Emily's body in my arms went stiff. She clearly resisted my touch. So I pushed down the bitterness and got out of bed. For now, I'll have to make do. I took the clean clothes from the line. They were still damp, but I didn't care. I quickly put them on. Then, I quietly took things from the bamboo basket. I set them on the table. Emily sat up in bed. Her face was cold as she said,
If you really want to change, find a job. If you're willing to work hard, you can earn over 10 yuan a month. We could get by.
Hearing my wife speak to me first, my heart leaped with joy. I knew she was thinking of me, but fate gave me this second chance. I must save up seed money before the country opens up. After they were gone in my past life, I was like a stray dog, wandering for a time before the country opens up, and got a job as a server at a state-run shop. I was smooth-talking and eager, and slowly got promoted to manager. That's how. Only then could I meet those big shots. In this life, I need to earn my first big payday with my own hands. So, hunting for dendrobium is the quickest way to earn money now. More importantly, I have memories from my past life. I know exactly where to find it. Such a golden chance. How could I let it slip? But how do I explain it to my wife?
Why I'm so set on going up the hill for dendrobium.
Emily, seeing you stay silent, knew his stubborn streak was showing. She just pulled the quilt over herself and lay back down.
There are cornmeal buns for you, in the pot on the stove.
Hearing her words, your brows lifted. A smile spread across your face. You went to the bedside and planted a kiss on Emily's cheek.
Sweetheart, I talked with Daniel yesterday. You don't need to help them today. When you have time, take half the pork to my mother-in-law.
Emily, seeing you approach, thought she'd angered you, that you were going to hit her again, but she didn't expect a kiss. She didn't quite catch what you said. I didn't see what happened. After you left, you kissed our daughter goodbye. By the time she realized it, you were long gone. In the dim room, only she and the baby in the crib remained. Though it was still early, she tossed and turned, unable to fall back asleep. She lay there until the sun was high, then heard someone knocking outside.
Linda, you're here early. What's the matter?
Linda's eyes darted toward the kitchen. A wide grin spread across her face.
Emily, I heard from the eldest sister-in-law you had meat last night. Did your Ethan win big gambling?
Not waiting for a reply, her feet seemed to have a mind of their own, heading straight for the kitchen door.
Goodness, Ethan didn't steal or rob, did he? A piece of meat that big must have cost a fortune. No one's seen meat in half a year. My kid's been begging for days, but I couldn't afford it.
Finally, tearing her eyes away, she spotted something else on the dark wall. Half a pheasant hanging there. She was stunned.
Emily, you better keep an eye on your man. Gambling could land him in forced labor.
Hearing this, Emily's face darkened. Her expression grew somber.
What kind of thing is that to say? If he breaks the law, the police will deal with him. You don't need to worry about it.
Linda was about to say more, but her eyes darted around, as if she'd thought of something. She held her tongue.
Don't be mad at me. I'm just worried about our Ethan. My husband is his own brother. My little Ben is crying for meat. Could you lend me £5? I'll have your brother-in-law pay you back.
After over 2 years together, Emily saw right through her. She knew exactly what Linda was like. Anything she borrowed was gone for good, asking for 5 pounds of meat. She didn't dare agree. And even if she could, she wouldn't.
I can't decide something this big. Wait for Ethan to come back and ask him.
She walked over and latched the kitchen door. Linda was deeply annoyed by her attitude. She felt very put out.
All right then. When Ethan gets back, tell him, to bring the meat to my place.
As she turned to leave, Linda's smile vanished. Up on the hill, it was almost noon. Relying on your past life memories, you finally found a wild dendrobium after much effort. With yesterday's experience in the dark, by the time most of the root was exposed, it was already late. This one was much bigger than yesterday's. It wasn't until dusk that you carefully extracted the whole plant. Just as you were about to head home, you turned and bumped into a sika deer. It seemed to be coming to nibble the dendrobium. Seeing this, you quickly fetched the hunting gun from your pocket realm. In an instant, a gunshot echoed through the woods, scattering birds in all directions. Back home, Emily had already made dinner. After preparing the baby formula for your daughter and still not seeing you return, she frowned with worry.
Wild dendrobium isn't that easy to find. He really needs to learn a proper trade.
As Emily was lost in thought, you quietly entered the yard. After you emptied the basket, Emily heard the noise from inside and came out holding your daughter.
Go wash up for dinner.
Then she went back inside with the baby. You noticed her glancing at the basket, but she said nothing. Once inside, seeing the steaming meal on the table, your eyes grew hot. You wished you could go back and throttle your past self. How could you not have treasured such a beautiful, devoted wife? You sat down at the table and ate hungrily.
I'm going to see the village chief later. We'll get electricity wired up here soon.
Emily paused, patting the baby. She couldn't help speaking up.
With electricity, we'd have a monthly bill to pay.
She stole a glance at you, afraid she'd anger you. You caught the look on her face. Putting down your chopsticks, you went to the door, brought the basket inside.
Look what I dug up today. I'll sell it in town soon. It should fetch a good price.
Emily gazed at the wild orchid. She looked up at you and asked in disbelief.
You really dug this up?
Seeing that, you continued to explain.
I swear I didn't steal it. I spent all day digging in the hills.
Seeing your earnest face, with yesterday's experience in the dark.
Linda came by today. She wanted to borrow 5 pounds of pork.
Seeing her long face, clearly upset, you guessed Linda had upset her while you were out. So you said seriously,
You're in charge of this house now. You manage the money and supplies? If you don't want to lend it, we won't.
Your words made Emily hesitate. After a long pause, she said timidly,
I don't want to. Second sister-in-law says it's a loan, but she'll never pay it back. This isn't the first time she's borrowed and not returned.
Hearing Emily's words, you smile warmly. You gently tap her nose.
If you don't want to lend it, don't. We won't be bullied.
Your smile leaves Emily stunned. Then he picks up your daughter and heads inside. After eating your fill, you wash the dishes, cut half a pound of pork, and slip out into the dark. Village Chief Brooks is surprised to see you. His weathered face shows confusion until he spots the meat in your hand. His wrinkled face breaks into a wide grin.
Ethan, what brings you here so late?
He asks, taking the meat from you.
I want lights installed at home. Can you help arrange that?
Sure. I'll handle it tomorrow.
Hearing his reply, you didn't stay long. You thanked him and left. But passing the kitchen, you saw Emily in the dark, gnawing on your leftover bones. The sight pierced you. Your blood ran cold. Hoarsely, you asked,
What are you doing?
Hearing your voice, Emily jumped in fright. The bone fell from her hand. She looked at you, terrified.
Don't hit me. These were yours. I just hated to waste them.
You were thunderstruck, never felt so defeated. You dropped to your knees. Emily screamed in fear.
What are you doing?
She looked down at the man kneeling, feeling a warm wetness. He was crying. Her closed heart softened a little. Seeing her so scared to eat leftovers felt like a knife twisting your heart. You got up from the floor, cupped her pale cheeks, and kissed her tears away.
Go wait in the main room. I'll bring the food in when it's ready. You're my savior.
Emily didn't understand that. Shy, she fled the kitchen like she'd seen a ghost. You worked in the kitchen for a while, and soon a plate of fragrant stir-fried pork was ready. The coarse grain buns she found hard to swallow. She treasured, not daring to take a bite. But stepping into the inner room, a pale back came into view. Instantly, blood rushed to your gut. You strode forward, wrapping your arms around her from behind.
Wife, don't leave me again.
Lost in the moment, Emily thought for the first time that this could be so pleasurable. It was the first time since their wedding night they had slept clinging to each other like this. Remembering last night, Emily's cheeks flushed. Turning to see the baby in the crib, Emily's face went pale with fright.
She hadn't heard the baby cry all night.
Seeing his wife's sudden change, her eyes fixed on their daughter, he quickly got out of bed. He rushed to the baby's crib. The baby was already awake, staring up with big smiling eyes. Looking at his daughter now, his heart melted. He gently picked her up, returning to the bed. Seeing the baby was fine, even smiling, the weight lifted from Emily's heart. Her tense nerves finally relaxed. Her eyes welled up, nearly in tears. She was angry at herself for sleeping so soundly. Such a tiny baby. If anything had happened, how could she live?
Sweetheart, rest with our girl a bit longer. I'll make breakfast.
Emily checked the diaper under the baby. Though it's not neatly covered, it's at least clean.
No wonder the baby didn't cry last night. It was that jerk who got up to care for her. Ever since the baby was born, this is the first time he's taken initiative. Has he really changed? Can I trust him again?
Meanwhile, you're busy in the kitchen. By the time Emily comes out with the baby, the meal is ready. Tofu, greens, cornmeal porridge, and coarse grain buns. Shirtless, you take the baby from Emily's arms.
Wife, go freshen up first.
Emily is a bit worried, but seeing you clumsily, holding the tiny baby, she can't help but laugh.
She's your own daughter, not a tiger. She won't bite you.
At mealtime, Village Chief Brooks arrives with the electrician. Entering the yard, he sees Emily, eating at the table outside. You're shirtless, pacing with the baby. He notices neat bite marks on your inner arm and smiles knowingly.
Ethan hasn't finished eating yet.
You didn't expect Chief Brooks to bring help so early. He brought the village chief and the electrician, and they were chatting outside the gate. After Emily finished eating and went inside, you handed the baby to your wife. Then, from your loose shorts pocket, you pulled out a pack of Fun 8 cigarettes. The chief looked at the cigarette in his hand, grinned with his yellowed teeth, and said,
You've come up in the world, kid.
She wished she could vanish. The electrician beside him smiled even wider. He tucked the cigarette behind his ear, hoisted his ladder, and went around back.
This job was a good deal. He couldn't afford 40-cent smokes himself. This family was generous.
Once the power was connected, you went back inside. You just stepped in. When a shirt flew at your face, before you could figure it out, you heard Emily say,
Put some clothes on. Walking around shirtless is disgraceful.
fresh scratches now marked your back, left there by Emily the night before. Both the chief and the electrician had seen them, but neither mentioned it. You, however, were completely unaware. He'd been walking around shirtless, leaving Emily embarrassed. She wished she could vanish. With others around, she was too shy to say anything. After he went up the hill, Emily held her flushed cheeks a while. Then she stripped the bedding to wash. She moved the baby's crib outside, placed the child in it, filled a basin with water, and got ready to wash the bedding. Just then, Mrs. Bennet arrived with a basket. It held eggs and a small piece of meat. Seeing her mother, Emily quickly wiped her hands and stood.
Mom, what brings you here?
Mrs. Bennet carried the basket to the kitchen. Her eyes swept over her daughter, taking in her worn, ill-fitting clothes. Her eyes stung. She looked away quickly, picking up her granddaughter from the crib and said,
Just finished at home. I came to check on you.
As she spoke, her gaze swept the 3 mud and thatch rooms. She never stopped regretting agreeing to this marriage. She'd ruined her daughter's life.
Emily, your mom's thought it over. If you really can't go on with him, get a divorce. You're young. Your life's still long. Don't let a good-for-nothing ruin it.
Hearing her mother's words, Emily was stunned. She sat there a long time silent. The day you snatched the money for the baby's rice cereal, money she borrowed from her parents. Just by drink, she felt hopeless. With you, she saw no future. She thought of ending it all, of jumping into the reservoir with baby. But when you sobered up, filled with regret, you slapped yourself hard and rushed out to buy the cereal. These past few days, she's seen you change. No more carousing, no drink, no gambling. Seeing her daughter silent, Mrs. Bennet thought she worried. She said,
If you keep the child, I'll help you raise her.
Here, she paused, hesitating.
But later on, if you stay home with her, remarrying will be hard.
Divorce is rare these days. No matter how hard life gets, a woman must endure it. Hearing her mother plan out remarrying after divorce for her, Emily took the baby from her arms.
Mom, I'm not thinking of divorce now. He seems to be changing for the better.
She tugged at the new little outfit on the baby.
He earned money to buy these clothes. He bought me a set too, but I haven't worn it yet.
Mrs. Joe looked at her daughter's pale, youthful face, now flushed. Her eyes seemed to light up again. Mrs. Joe was taken aback. Just yesterday, she'd overheard Benny next door say he owed about $7. Such a large debt, and he does no honest work. How will he repay it? That's why she was worried, coming early with gifts to check. But her daughter's expression seemed genuine. She didn't tell her what she'd heard. She didn't want them to fight over it. She collected her thoughts. She nodded, eyes red with emotion.
If you can change, that's good. Then I can rest easy.
She wiped a tear from her eye. Meanwhile, you were up the hill, a coarse bun in your mouth, calculating the cost of building a 2-story house. Based on current dendrobium prices, after building the house, you'd still have a sizable sum. For this era, after all, back then, 10,000 households were rare. You'd be in the village a few more years, so better housing was a priority. The 3 rundown mudrooms now were so low, you couldn't stand straight inside. Dust was everywhere, flaking from the walls. It was barely livable. You had no idea then that your mother-in-law was discussing divorce with Emily. If you'd known, you'd have lost all focus for hunting. In this second life, making money mattered, but not as much as your family. With your future knowledge, there was no rush. It was almost noon. Mrs. Bennet hadn't even eaten. She was rushing home, afraid each bite she took meant less for her daughter. Emily couldn't stop her. She took meat from the kitchen, cut a large piece, and ran out after her.
Mom, take this for you, my brother and his wife.
Seeing the large piece of meat, Mrs. Bennet refused, waving her hands. She feared you'd find out she helped her family and hit her daughter again. She also worried her daughter would go hungry and suffer.
You keep it. We have enough at home. Look how thin you are. You need to eat more. Build up your strength. How else will you feed the baby?
Mrs. Bennet didn't take the meat. She walked away with her basket. Emily stood at the door, watching her mother go further away, until out of sight. Then she took the meat back to the kitchen. Next door, Gloria Parker was Emily's age, but had married 2 years earlier. Her skin was dark. She was munching on a raw radish, leaning over the wall.
Sweetie, you never go out. But word's gotten around. Your second brother gave his wife a thrashing last night. Half the street heard her screams.
Emily came out of the kitchen and sat on a stool in the yard, responding absently. Seeing she wasn't talkative, Hannah pulled up a stool by the wash basin and sat. She lowered her voice and whispered,
Everyone's saying that your nephew, the eldest boy, isn't his.
Hearing this, Emily stopped her work at once. She looked up at Hannah.
He's the older brother's child.
Hannah saw the confusion in her eyes. She stuffed the leftover radish in her pocket and leaned in, gossiping quietly. Emily was stunned. She couldn't believe it. She used to respect that older brother, thought he was honest and decent, fair in his dealings, a proper eldest brother. But hearing this, she felt deeply unsettled.
How could this be?
Gloria Parker seemed pleased with her reaction. She patted the young city wife.
Well, I need to go cook for my husband. I'll leave you be.
You came home very late that night. This time, you saw the light on from afar. You couldn't help but think,
Electric light is much brighter than a kerosene lamp.
Seeing you return, Emily quickly brought out the food kept warm in the pot. And what flour bun, she asked casually.
Why so late today?
Noticing dirt on your clothes, she put the food down and brushed it off. You stopped her, turned to latch the main room door, then pulled something from the straw in the bamboo basket. You placed it carefully on the table.
I dug up some dendrobium. On the way back, I had a lucky find.
You didn't tell your wife. You'd slipped and fallen, only to stumble upon this. It took effort to climb back up. That's why I'm late.
This is worth as much as dendrobium now. It's sold by the gram. An unexpected little windfall.
You plan to spend a cozy night with your wife. Not going to the hills tomorrow. You'll sell your haul first. Emily looks at the dark brown lump on the table. It looks a bit like ginger. She thinks she's seen it in a book. She asks uncertainly.
Is this foti root?
Her tone is full of disbelief. You're surprised she knows so much. Most folks around here still don't know its value. Otherwise, the hills would have been picked clean. All the good stuff would be gone. Dendrobium and foti root will stay precious for another decade. After that, farming methods improve. They can be grown by hand. They'll be common then, and not so special. But even then, wild, rare herbs will cost a fortune, because the wild ones are nearly impossible to find. Grinning widely, you pull your lovely wife into your arms. You kiss her soft cheek, and meet her sparkling eyes.
Yes, you say. It's foti root. Tomorrow I'll take you and the baby to town.
Hearing you take them out with the baby, Emily stiffened instantly. She remembered you saying you'd sell your daughter to that childless city couple. The fear still lingers. Who knows if they're truly infertile, or just want a child bride? She pulls away, refusing warily.
She's too young. We won't go. You go wash up for dinner.
You notice Emily's unease. You just wanted to take her out, maybe buy her some winter clothes. But seeing her guard up again, she clearly fears you'll harm your daughter. Your past misdeeds aren't forgiven so easily. Her trust is long gone. This will take time. You take off your dusty shirt, open the door, wash your face briefly, and return to sit down. Only then do you see the meal. A plate of golden scrambled eggs, and a small plate of morning stir-fried pork.
Did she not eat any lunch? If she keeps skimping like this, when will she ever get plump? Gotta earn more money fast, to put her at ease. Where'd these eggs come from, dear?
Emily bowed her head, serving you a bowl of porridge.
Mom came by soon after you left. She brought them.
She didn't mention the divorce, not a single word. Hearing it was from your mother-in-law, and remembering how you'd asked her for drinking money, you felt too ashamed to face her. You didn't ask why she'd come. Instead, you thought, once I sell what I've got tomorrow, I'll pay back the money I took from her first. You reached out and pulled your wife close, making her sit down.
Eat up.
You handed her a mixed grain bun. She still couldn't bear to use only white flour. She'd steamed buns with half white flour mixed in. You picked up a cornmeal bun and wolfed it down. Emily took a small bite of her bun. She glanced up, secretly studying the man before her.
If only he could stay like this. But how long will this warmth last?
The two of them ate their meal. There's someone at the door.
Ethan, it's Ricky Doyle. Come out! We're one short. Come drink and play cards.
Emily heard the voice. Her face went pale. She stared at him wide-eyed, afraid he'd revert to his old ways, out drinking and gambling with them. He heard the voice. He paused, then remembered who it was. He put down his chopsticks and looked up, saw his wife's pale, frightened face. He quickly stood and pulled her close.
Emily, what's wrong? Are you feeling sick?
His voice full of worry and concern. Emily, held in his arms, her slender pale fingers, clutched his undershirt. Her lips trembled slightly.
You're going out with them again?
Hearing this, he understood, finally knew why she was so scared. She feared he'd slip back into his old habits. He rested his chin on her soft hair. His arms tightened around her, holding her even closer. She felt so frail in his arms. Since marrying him, she'd known no peace. Even a full meal was a luxury. Yet, she still held out hope for me, wanted to build a life with me. He took a deep breath, forced back the tears. In a low, hoarse voice, he reassured her.
Don't worry. I'm not going. I'll send them packing now. I'm done hanging out with them.
Holding Emily in your arms, you feel her tense up. She looks up, her eyes searching yours as she asks,
Really? You won't go?
You lower your gaze, meeting her anxious, questioning eyes. You wish you could show her your heart, to prove you've truly changed your ways. You can't help but kiss the tip of her nose again. Really, I'm not going, you whisper warmly.
I promise. Don't worry. I'll send them packing right now.
You gently set her back down on the stool.
All right now? You finish your meal. I'll be right back.
You straighten up, noticing she's still clutching the front of your undershirt tightly. If those three outside weren't such bad news, you'd take her with you. So she could see herself, you turning them away, to finally put her mind at ease. You lean down and kiss the top of her head once more. A soothing gesture. Your rough hand gently pats her slender back. She slowly let go. You straightened up, striding out. You reached the courtyard gate, opened the door. The men outside saw you. That Ricky Doyle grinned like a fool, making a dirty joke.
That's not cool, Ethan. Your wife? She just had a baby and you're stuck inside? It's been days. No drinking with the boys?
Hearing that trash, your sharp brows darkened with rage. You growled low.
Screw you. Watch your filthy mouth, or shut it for good.
The other two had been laughing too, but seeing your face, they stopped, quickly smoothing things over.
Ethan, he's just got a big mouth. Ignore him. Come on, let's go have a drink.
He reached to put an arm on your shoulder. You brushed his arm aside, glancing at the other two.
If it's drinking or gambling, don't come looking for me again. I'm done.
The three of them looked at you like they'd seen a ghost. They stared at each other, completely baffled. That guy, Ricky Doyle, still wearing a sleazy grin, had the nerve to keep teasing.
Brother Ethan, did your little wife lock you up at home? Since she's past her confinement, why not join us for a drink?
Before he could finish, you kicked him square in the chest. He landed flat on his back, groaning on the ground. You strode forward, stomping your foot between his legs. Leaning down, your dark eyes glinted, pinning the scum on the ground.
Spout that trash again, and I'll sew both your mouths shut. Then I'll break your third leg.
You ground your foot harder. Ricky lay there, ignoring the chest pain, desperately pushing at your foot on his crotch. He howled in agony.
Fourth brother, I was wrong. I'll never spout nonsense again.
The other two were scared witless, speechless. An aura of menace radiated from you, terrifying in the night. No one dared intervene. They'd feared you since childhood. You fought like a man possessed. But today was the first time. He was just raging, like a starved tiger ready to devour its prey. It sent a chill down your spine. You worried Ricky's howling would draw your wife out, not wanting her to see you in this violent state. You didn't want to scare her. If she started fearing you again over this nonsense, we'd be done for. You straightened up, glaring down at Ricky on the ground. You pulled your foot back.
Get lost.
The other two felt a wave of relief. They quickly hauled Ricky to his feet and said to you,
We're leaving, fourth brother.
Once the three of them were gone, you let the tension drain from your body. You stepped back into the yard, slid the bolt shut. Inside, Emily had been restless ever since you went out. She felt pins and needles, every second in agony. Seeing you gone for so long, her heart sank. Her stomach growled with hunger, but the steaming food on the table held no appeal without you there. She couldn't eat a bite. In just these few days, watching you slowly change for the better, she had, without realizing it, my heart held hope for you again.
I don't expect him to be rich. I just hope he can live a stable life. But if he goes back to drinking and gambling, what will I do? The baby is so small. I can't possibly take her out to work. Would I really have to get a divorce?
She was lost in thought when she heard steady footsteps. Her eyes instinctively looked toward the sound. His tall figure emerged from the moonlight. In that moment, the light returned to Emily's dull eyes.
He really didn't go carousing with those good-for-nothings.
She was still stunned as you walked up behind her. You bent down and wrapped your arms around her. You kissed her soft cheek.
What's wrong? Don't you recognize your man after a short trip out?
You handed her the chopsticks, sat at the table, and started devouring the cornmeal buns. Emily was still processing it. She asked instinctively,
You really won't fool around with them anymore?
Reporting, my lady. I've cut all ties with them. I won't hang out with them anymore.
Emily finally nodded. She began eating slowly. During the meal, she kept sneaking glances at him. She saw he ate quickly, but with decent manners. With his handsome face, it was rather pleasing to watch. When she married him, besides him saving her life, part of it was his good looks. She was swayed by his looks then, and the arranged marriage for her brother, so she married him, penniless. He saw his wife staring blankly. Wondering what she was thinking, he added a golden egg to her bun. Grinning, he teased,
Wife, eat up. You can look your fill later in bed.
His nonsense snapped Emily back. Seeing his roguish look, she shot him a glare, then blushed and lowered her head to eat. Full, he was in no hurry to leave. Perched on the rickety stool, his eyes fixed on her. The more he looked, the more he adored her. In these lean times, with poor food and no cosmetics, her skin was still smooth and glowing, prettier than any star with treatments. He noticed her reddened knuckles gripping the chopsticks. He took her slender wrist, pulling it close. Thinking of the bedsheet drying outside, he planned to sell his finds tomorrow. Get a washing machine coupon from the profiteers. Most folks here don't know what a washer is, let alone spend on one. With a machine, Emily wouldn't have to scrub clothes by hand. Emily pulled her hand back, flustered by his stare.
Go heat water for a bath if you're full. You're covered in mud.
He stood, kissed her cheek, and went to the kitchen to heat water. After he left, Emily put down her chopsticks. She touched her warm cheek. Ever since last night, he loves cuddling me, kissing me now and then. Every time he's near, I can smell his raw sex appeal. My heart races like a rabbit's, thumping wildly. I don't even understand why. After the meal, you take Joyo's hand, saying you'll take her for a walk, to help digest. On the way back, you don't head home. You turn with Joyo. Near the cowshed, a rundown mud hut, a simple clay stove outside. Inside, a woman clutches her chest, coughing. She scoops a handful of corn grits, adds water, puts it in a chipped ceramic pot. Just those few steps. Her face is beaded with sweat. Rolling down her forehead. Worried, a man with half-gray hair strides over from nearby. Frowning, he takes the ladle, tells her to go lie down. He'll cook. The woman looks at him. He hands her half a flatbread he got.
Go heat water for a bath if you're full.
Got a flatbread. I ate half. Brought the rest back. Eat. You'll get better faster.
You've eaten?
The man doesn't hesitate. He adds a handful of rice to the pot, squats down to light the fire and says,
I've eaten.
The woman thinks of her own health, passing him the flatbread.
I'm not hungry. You eat it all. I've been resting all day. I just want something light.
The man stokes the fire silently.
Eat when I tell you to. How will you get better if you don't eat?
His head is bowed, his eyes stinging. If we eat our fill today, what about tomorrow? He ignores his own health. That little bit of rice, he had to beg several villagers to trade for it. She aches, seeing him work all day without food. He aches, seeing her suffer here with him. He takes her hand.
Don't think so much. Just focus on getting well. Tomorrow I'll find medicine for you. I will cure you.
Emily watches, her heart aching. On the way back, she asks about that couple. You fall silent. How can I say it? That man. You didn't know him well, but you saw him on TV in your past life. The old tycoon, after decades in business, donated his entire fortune upon his death. In his beloved wife's name, he founded the Medical Relief Charity Foundation. His life's greatest regret was failing to protect her. You watched him suffer and die from illness. Based on your memories, you suspect his wife died from the same illness. But you figure Mrs. Sterling's condition was mainly due to poor nutrition. Living in that drafty cowshed, barely enough to eat each day. Even a small ailment could turn severe. You plan to have your wife, a high school educated woman, deliver the medicine, the food, and money to this future big shot. At least you'll have a tutor before the exam is reinstated. Early the next morning, before dawn, you open your eyes. You slip out of bed quietly, walk to the little crib, and carefully pick up your daughter. You gently place her beside your wife, tucking her in carefully. After making breakfast for your wife, you close the door from outside and set off on your journey. His life's greatest regret was failing to protect her. Though it's still early, many people are already on the road. In these times, in the countryside, owning a roadster bicycle meant you were doing quite well. So most folks still travel on foot. Drawing on your past life memories, you found it right away. The larger herbal medicine shop. The middle-aged man with a square face looked you over carefully after seeing what you'd brought. He then picked up the dendrobium for a close inspection. Seeing it was old wild dendrobium, each stalk perfectly intact, he couldn't hide his surprise. He carefully set it on the counter and asked tentatively, "What price are you looking for?" Hearing him ask you to name a price, you didn't hold back. You gave him a number. You knew full well he'd try to bargain. Sure enough, hearing your price, the pharmacy manager knew the score. This wasn't someone he could easily fool. Glancing at your bamboo basket, he invited you to the back courtyard. The two of you haggled for nearly an hour out back. In the end, you sold him both dendrobium plants, the foti root and the deer antler velvet. velvet. You were pleased with the price. Pocketing 50 10 yuan bills, you left. With money in hand, you went to the state-run department store. You wanted to buy a washing machine. You asked the clerk, and the answer stunned you. You smacked your forehead. Washing machines exist now, but they're only for hotel laundries, not in homes. China's first washer was made in 1978. It's not available yet, but you got your hands on a 9-inch black and white TV coupon. You bought it without a second thought. Then some oil, meat, and flour coupons. The profiteers saw a big spender. They were extra friendly. Hearing you wanted the TV today, they found a guy with a tractor. For 2 yuan, he'd haul it to the village. You agreed right away. Next, at the state-run department store, you bought your wife a solid red sweater, pants, leather shoes, and several new outfits for the baby, plus a few new cotton quilts. You got everything you could think of. It filled half the cart. The tractor driver was stunned. An black and white TV. This shabbily dressed guy had so much cash, buying all this at once. By the time you finished, it was afternoon. Back home, Emily woke in the morning. The baby slept beside her. You had left sometime. She didn't know when. Emily got up, heavy and sore. She saw before he left early. He had everything ready. Golden eggs were on the table, and sizzling fried meat. To say she felt nothing would be a lie. Around noon, Village Chief Brooks brought a fresh-faced girl inside.
Emily, this is Daisy Turner, a sent-down youth. She'll be staying with you. Tell Ethan to get a room ready.
Emily was stunned. A young girl suddenly in the house? How would they fit in 3 small rooms? One for the couple, the main room for eating, the other full of clutter. Where could she stay?
Village Chief, he's not home. I can't decide this.
Chief Brooks smiled, wrinkles creasing his face. He waved her off, not listening. He said a few words to the girl, then left.
If not for that kid's gift of meat, I'd never place such a fresh young maiden there. This batch of sent-down youth totals over 20. Most are strong young lads. Only one delicate girl. I placed her here. The young couple lives there. A girl's better than a boy. No need for nighttime modesty. No worry about a pretty wife being eyed.
Left behind, Daisy Turner clutched her bag, staring at the 3 rundown, dilapidated mudrooms, her heart filled with dread.
The days ahead would be harder than for the others. Ruby was assigned to a family that seemed pretty well off. It was a middle-aged couple with 3 kids, all dressed quite nicely. On the way, I heard people say, the family I got had a terrible husband. He drank, gambled, and beat his wife. The home was dirt poor, barely scraping by. I thought they were exaggerating, but now I see they told the absolute truth. Just look at the lady of the house. Worn out, ill-fitting clothes, but so fresh and pretty. Features delicate as a painting. Doesn't look country at all.
Emily sensed that gaze sizing her up. She looked down at herself, old clothes full of patches. Then at the one before her, dressed in a stylish, cool skirt, white socks, little leather shoes, all neat and bright. Ignoring the scrutiny, she spoke up.
Have a seat. The place is a mess, full of junk. Wait till my man's back. Make room for you.
She went inside. She poured water from a thermos. Emily nodded, feeling awkward. She sat on a stool in the yard. She was thinking she had to get her return notice soon. She couldn't stand this place another day, especially living with a local thug. She'd have to be careful. Don't let that thug take advantage. Emily planned to just grab a bite. But with a new arrival, she rolled up her sleeves to cook. Daisy thought since she'd live here, she couldn't just freeload. She washed her hands and went to help.
Let me tend the fire.
She walked into the kitchen and stopped. The shabby kitchen was spotless. A huge piece of meat hung from the beam.
Who said they were starving? Starving people don't eat meat. Not this big.
Emily was kneading dough. Hearing Daisy, she looked up.
No need. If you're free, watch the baby in the yard.
Daisy heard her, nodded, and left. She went to the crib and looked at the child. Fair as a porcelain doll. Utterly adorable. She bent down to play with the baby, puzzled.
The mistress was about her age, and so pretty and fair. Why marry so young? And to such a worthless man, a local ruffian? Was she forced? Had no choice?
The thought chilled Daisy. The more she wondered, the more she feared. She thought of going to the village chief to ask for another placement. Even a poorer home would do, so long as the man was decent. In the kitchen, Zhou Yao cooked, unaware of the girl's inner turmoil. Soon, steaming noodles were ready. Zhou Yao brought them out. Come,
she said. Have some noodles first.
Daisy snapped back to reality, staring at the steaming, oily noodles in the big bowl. She was lost in thought for a moment, and quickly said,
I'm Daisy Turner. Just call me Daisy.
Emily Bennett nodded. She didn't say anything more. Around 4 in the afternoon, a tractor rumbled into the village. It stopped at your gate as you directed. Emily, who was husking corn in the yard, suddenly heard a commotion outside. She dropped what she was doing, stood up, and went to the door. Just then, she saw you nimbly jump off the tractor. Her mind was racing.
Why did he come back on that noisy tractor?
Before she could even ask, the tractor driver shouted out,
Hey, young man, where are you gonna put all this stuff?
He walked from the cab to the rear, carefully moving the television aside, worried he might break it. You sprang forward, hoisted the TV off the truck, and said to the driver with a grin,
We'll have plenty of space soon.
Emily, standing nearby, was stunned by the sight, asked dazedly.
You bought all this?
Her voice was full of disbelief.
So much stuff? And a television too? How much money in coupons did this cost?
You saw the look on Emily's fair, pretty face. Her eyes were wide with shock. You walked over and touched her cheek. You understood. She was worried about the money, but this small sum meant nothing to you. You just wanted your wife to have a good life. You'd never let her suffer again. You leaned close to Emily's ear and whispered,
I'll explain later. Step aside for now. Stay clear. Let me unload this first.
Emily listened to you. She moved aside like a puppet. She watched as item after item was unloaded. They piled up like a hill. Regret filled her heart. If she'd known, she would have gone to town with you and the baby.
So much money. He's so reckless with money. Where'd he get the money and coupons? Who can afford a television? The electricity bill alone will be huge. What a waste.
Just then, Daisy Turner stood in the corner, cradling the baby. She stared fixedly at the tall, broad-shouldered young man.
He was the village ruffian.
She'd always imagined him as ugly and crude. She never expected such a handsome man, with sharp features. She'd rarely seen such a good-looking man. Her heart pounded as she watched. Now Daisy understood. Why would a beauty like Emily Bennett marry so young? It turned out he was even more handsome than Victor Brooks. Once everything was unloaded, you pulled out 2 yuan, handing it to the tractor driver. He took the money, waved, and drove off. You started carrying things into the yard. You wouldn't let your wife help, telling her to sit and rest. You didn't even notice the stranger. Daniel Carter hurried over, hearing the noise. Seeing the pile of goods at his brother's door, he was stunned.
This lazy bum. Where'd you get the money for all this? We're penniless. Nothing left to sell. Did you sell the baby?
The thought made Daniel Carter quicken his pace. He reached the gate. He saw the baby in the sent-down youth's arms. Only then did he relax. Daniel said nothing. He just helped carry things into the yard. He stared at the heavy metal box. Plug it in, and pictures and sound come out. A bunch of ants fighting on it. Quite a show. Like watching a movie. He circled it curiously a few times, too shy to touch it.
I hear this thing's really expensive. Costs hundreds. So this is a television. Never thought my brother would get one. The only one in the whole village.
After everything was put away, Daniel pulled you aside by the gate and asked,
"Where'd all that money come from?"
You patted your chest calmly and said,
I earned it hunting. Sold the game on the black market.
You didn't mention the dendrobium to your brother. Not that you didn't trust him, but dendrobium grows on cliffs. Even if I told you, you couldn't help. If word got out, my income stream would dry up. When spring comes and it's warmer, I'll take you and second brother to find good spots. Show you the tricks. After that, it's up to you. Daniel wanted to tell you to just farm. But looking at his brother now, his eyes gleaming, showing a shrewdness and depth he'd never seen before. It was like he was a different man. Thinking he was here, you brought up building a house, asked for his help, offered about 14 cents a day. Daniel took a drag and said,
"If you stay straight, I'll work for free. No pay needed. But building a house is serious. It costs a lot."
I have the money, Daniel. I'll pay the wage. Even brothers keep clear accounts. Please find me a skilled builder. And good materials, too. Get into the new house before winter.
Daniel Carter nodded. He thought Ethan just wanted to fix up the 3 thatch houses. He never imagined he'd dare build 2 floors. You handed all these matters to your older brother. Because you were running around like crazy. You figured you had to gather the dendrobium before winter. If you found other wild herbs like fotai root, you could sell them for cash. If you ran into a sika deer, got some deer antler velvet or deer pizzle, that would be hitting the jackpot. Seeing it was still early, the brothers went to plan with Village Chief Brooks. In the planned economy, even buying bricks needed approval. Village Chief Brooks, in those days, had a lot of power. You gave him a pack of Bakuyan and cigarettes, and slipped him about 14 cents. You got the brick purchase slip without a hitch. With the slip, you went straight to the commune brickworks. You ordered the bricks for the house. Daniel was puzzled.
How many bricks would that need? Ethan, how thick will the walls be? Ordering so many bricks?
You told him 2 floors. Daniel watches you pull out 2 10 yuan notes. You hand them over without batting an eye. Daniel winces at the sight. And hears you say, "The rest gets paid once the bricks are delivered." His eyes go wide. He can't believe it.
That's real money, not toilet paper, just stuffed in your pocket like that. Aren't you afraid of losing it?
Daniel realizes his good-for-nothing 4th brother now carries himself with real authority, more like a boss than the brickworks owner. He commands respect without even trying. Emily tidies your purchases, and folks might think he's some official's son, if not for the mole on his neck and the scar from his fighting days. You give him a pack of Bakuyan and cigarettes. If someone swapped out his brother, walking home, Daniel feels lightheaded. Dazed. Ethan's changed, sure, but something feels off. Almost home now. You pull 5 10 yuan bills from your coat and hand over.
Daniel, besides the lumber, could you help get the other materials?
Daniel reaches for it, but feels his hands are dirty. He wipes them on his shirt, then takes the money. He carefully tucks it into his inner pocket, afraid to lose it. Daniel says earnestly,
"That's a lot of money. You trust me with this. I'll get it done right."
You nod.
You're my own brother. Of course I do.
If not for you and sis-in-law, with what Emily went through, our girl might not be here. I'd have ruined everything. The Carter's main room. Emily tidies your purchases. She finds a cloth in the cabinet and drapes it over the TV to keep off the dust. Why buy this thing? The power cuts out often. You need an antenna. No signal, just static. Seeing you so excited, she couldn't scold you for spending. She saw you'd bought things for her and your daughter again. A lady's sweater, pants and leather shoes, and several outfits for your little girl. She hadn't even worn the coat. You bought her last time in town, saving it, too precious to wear. And now you bought her even more. But seeing you think of us, Emily was still happy. She picked up the light, thick quilt, ready to pack it away. She couldn't hold back a tear. Better than her wedding quilt. With everything packed, Emily saw you'd bought nothing for yourself. Yet your shirt was all patches, and your shoes had holes. Daisy Turner held your daughter, eyeing the new clothes, fidgeting like a cat with fish. That V-neck was the latest style. She'd wanted one herself, but her parents refused. Half a month's pay for a sweater, seeing clothes she wanted but couldn't afford, and not just one piece. Daisy Turner burned with envy.
Emily's husband was handsome and generous with her. He was also caring. He wouldn't let her lift a finger, afraid she'd get tired. He treasured her deeply. How could village gossip paint him a lazy gambler? It's pure nonsense.
You strode inside and saw a young woman holding the baby, smiling at your wife.
Is this your friend?
Daisy, feeling your gaze, looked down, unable to meet it. Though a city girl, she scorned these farmers. But since he returned, dusty from travel, he stood nearby, his eyes only on Emily. She stood right there, yet he never glanced her way. Emily was busy working. Hearing your question, it took me a moment to realize there was someone else in the house. The sent-down youth had been so quiet, and I was busy putting away the things I'd bought. I'd completely forgotten about her. Emily quickly apologized and took the baby from Daisy's arms. She said to me,
Village Chief Brooks brought her here. She's a sent-down youth. She'd like to stay with us for a while. What if we tidy up the west room and let her stay there?
Her tone was hesitant. Even though I'd said I was in charge, she didn't dare decide alone, afraid of doing wrong. Hearing an outsider wanted to stay, my brow furrowed slightly. I didn't want a stranger disrupting our life. But seeing the hope in Emily's eyes, I couldn't bring myself to refuse. I didn't want her to think I opposed her. I stayed silent, leading her into the inner room first. I took off my outer jacket, then pulled the money from the dendrobium sale from my hidden pocket and handed it to her. Then you took the baby from Emily's arms and played with her. You told her about your plan to build a house. Emily took the money from your hands. She looked at the stack of crisp new bills. It was hard to believe.
After buying so much, there was still this much left. 2 dendrobium plants, 1 foti root, and those deer antlers and pizzle. They were worth so much.
When you mentioned wanting to build a house, Emily quickly put the money away. Under your eager gaze, she hid it very carefully. Then she fell silent for a moment.
If they didn't build, with just this money from 2 trips, the 3 of them could live comfortably for several years. A stable, secure life. But if they really built, this money probably wouldn't be enough. They'd be buried in debt. Her brother back home had helped them a lot these past 2 years. Now he had his own family to feed. How could she ask to borrow more?
As Emily was thinking this, you seemed to have read her mind. He suddenly kissed her soft cheek.
My wife, don't worry about the money. I'll handle it. You just rest at home. Don't tire yourself.
The sudden, soft warmth on her cheek made Emily's face flush bright red. She shot you a flirty sidelong glance. She whispered a reminder.
What are you doing? Someone could see. Have you no shame?
You're thick-skinned as ever. You just grinned at Emily. In your past life, you were wealthy. You'd seen every scene. Then you leaned down again. You gently nibbled her full red lips. You gave her lip a playful nip. Seeing her fair, blushing face, your heart melted.
You're a mother now, yet still so bashful.
You stopped teasing her. Getting back on topic, you said,
Daniel will bring materials tomorrow. If he's short and asks you for money, don't forget to give it to him.
Emily nodded silently, but inside she felt uneasy. She recalled the neighbor's gossip about Daniel and Linda. Seeing Daniel now, she felt uneasy. You noticed Emily looked upset. Leaning close, you whispered,
What's wrong, sweetheart? Don't keep it to yourself.
Emily thought for a moment, then shook her head. She said nothing. Seeing she didn't want to talk, you didn't press further. Meanwhile, Daisy stood in the main room. She faintly heard Emily mention someone outside. Her face flushed bright red. She walked quietly into the yard, taking a deep breath. On a strange impulse, she abandoned her plan to ask the chief for a new place.
The man of this house wasn't as bad as the rumors said. When Emily was tidying up earlier, Daisy stood there holding the baby. She saw everything clearly. Most items were for the home, or clothes for the baby and Emily, but she saw nothing for the man.
As Daisy stood dazed in the yard, you rocked your little girl, already sound asleep. Her doll-like face is peaceful. You turn quietly and gently lay the sleeping princess down, carefully pulling up the blanket. Emily then comes out and says to Daisy,
You'll have to make do tonight. Sorry for the inconvenience. The west room is a bit cluttered. Daniel might not finish tidying up soon.
Hearing this, Daisy turns her head. Seeing Emily's flushed cheeks, she recalls the muffled sounds from their room. Her face grows warm, and she quickly looks away.
It's no trouble. Thank you both.
Daisy says quickly. Emily smiles and shakes her head.
We're glad you don't mind our home.
She bends down to move the crib to the east room. Seeing this, you rush to help. Emily smiles and heads to the west room to help clean up, shirtless as you work. Your wife insists again. He just threw on a white undershirt. His muscular arms were bare, showing his strength. The undershirt covered his broad back and the scratches of varying depth. He had no idea why his wife wanted him to wear it. He just hoisted a few bamboo rakes, planning to move them to the yard. He barely started when he saw his wife roll up her sleeves and come in. He quickly spoke up to stop her.
Honey, you don't need to help with this. It's too dusty. Go wait outside in the yard.
Seeing Emily wouldn't listen, he grew anxious. He put down the fence and pushed her out. His heart ached. It was so dusty here. How could he let her help? If not for the upcoming house build, with many men coming and going, he wouldn't have let the sent-down youth stay. But then again, having Daisy here had its benefits. When he went up the hill to hunt or gather dendrobium, she could keep his wife company. Half the time, Daisy saw him push Emily out. She chuckled, covering her mouth.
Your husband really dotes on you, huh?
Hearing Daisy's words, Emily's face flushed. She smiled shyly, silent. He really had changed. Whenever he was home, he wouldn't let her do a thing. Even the hot water for washing up at night was prepared and brought to her. She truly felt cared for lately. It was almost too good. It felt unreal. She was even on edge, afraid his kindness would fade, and he'd revert to his old ways. She lived each day anxious and uncertain. Her nerves were constantly stretched taut. She desperately hoped this would last, so she was extra careful fearing she might upset him. At mealtime, she watched as he handed her the white flour buns. He himself ate the coarse corn buns. He was the one who disliked the coarse food. He was the one who asked for the fine buns. Yet once made, he wouldn't touch them, saving them all for her. I don't mind what I eat. As long as he settles down and stops fooling around, I'm content. Emily still can't figure out why you've changed so suddenly. He'd done stupid things drunk before. He'd sober up, apologize, and kneel, swearing oaths. He'd behave for a bit after each binge, but that only lasted a few days. Then he'd revert, go out carousing again. She's never seen him like this before. Cooking, heating water, even soothing the baby. He bought her clothes and shoes too. Emily sees it all clearly. She reminds herself to stay sharp. Don't get swept up in this sweetness. What if she wakes up later and reality isn't like this? What then? But you don't know her doubts. As dusk falls, you finally clean the west room. It's an old mud brick room, full of junk, uninhabited. The newspaper on the wall is torn like a web, crumbles at a touch. Even though it was swept, it's still very dusty inside. He deftly sets up a small bed with planks, completing the task his wife assigned. Zhou Yao sees him emerge, drenched in sweat. She quickly grabs a towel and offers it.
Here, wipe your face. Dinner's almost ready.
He doesn't reach for it. His tall frame bends down, bringing his face close. He leans his handsome face close to his wife's. With a warm breath, he says,
Wife, will you wipe it for me?
Hearing this, Xu Yao instinctively glances at Li Tiantian, who's carrying things inside. Once she's entered, Xu Yu rises on her toes to wipe his brow. She whispers a reminder.
We have a guest. From now on, when you get up in the morning, don't just go out in your underwear. It might make a young girl blush.
Your dark, bright eyes stare at your wife so close. Seeing her wipe so carefully and fuss over these little things warms your heart. Though you think it's odd, not to be shirtless in your own home. Seeing her serious face, you curl your lips, give Emily's red lips a quick peck, a little kiss, and agree cheerfully.
I'll do as you say.
Emily blushes fiercely from your sudden affection. It's one thing at home alone, but with an unmarried girl here, how shameless. Flushing red, Emily tells you,
Stop dawdling. Go wash up and eat.
She turns and heads to the kitchen. You watch your wife flee in embarrassment and grin widely. A satisfied smile spreads across your handsome face. You walk to the well. He drew a bucket of cold water and splashed it over his face. He was sweaty, sticky all over. It was awful. You looked around. You were alone in the yard. You pulled off your undershirt and poured the whole bucket over your head. So refreshing. Just then, Daisy Turner stepped out. She saw everything. She saw the man's bare back, his toned physique, well-defined muscles with clear lines. A few scratch marks were visible. Daisy's cheeks burned. Embarrassed, she turned and went back inside. The mud house had thin walls, dark and dusty everywhere. Daisy couldn't stand another day here. Emily heard the splashing water. She came out with a dish. She saw you shirtless, soaked, like you'd just been fished from water. Anger flared inside her. She set the dish on the stone table, grabbed your arm, and pulled you toward the house. As she pulled, she scolded.
In this cold? What if you get sick?
You let your wife lead you inside. Hearing her scolding words, you felt a warmth inside. You knew she truly worried for you. Inside the room, Emily picked up a child's small blanket. Rising on her toes, she carefully wiped the water from your head. She was so focused, she didn't even blink, all while lecturing you.
Lower your head. Hurry up.
She didn't notice at all that you were grinning like a fool, watching her. Hearing your wife, you quickly spread your legs wide and obediently lowered your head for her to wipe.
Wife, wear your new clothes tomorrow. I want to see you in them.
Hearing this, Zhou Yao's hand stilled for a moment. She didn't say a word. Seeing his hair was mostly dry, she moved behind him. She carefully wiped the water from his back. Noticing the marks there, her face grew warm. She wasn't usually like this. At the thought, her heart began to race. She tossed the small towel to him and said,
Do the front yourself.
Inside the room, Zhou Yao stepped out from behind the curtain and ran right into Li Tiantian from the west room. They exchanged a smile, a tacit understanding passing between them. The three small rooms, she's shattered. Words spoken in the east room could be heard clearly in the west. Li Tiantian felt awkward standing. She felt completely out of place.
If this were nighttime, she'd feel like she was being grilled over a fire.
He changed into a clean pair of pants, threw on a gray shirt, and strode out. He sat on the stone stool beside his wife. Glancing at the stone table, he saw the scrambled eggs from breakfast were barely touched. All 8 pieces are here. You frown at your wife.
You didn't eat this morning.
Emily just picked up her chopsticks. She looks up, sees your dark, scowling face. Her heart lurches. Her hand trembles. The chopsticks clatter to the floor. She's shattered. The dream ended so fast. She thought he might last a bit longer this time. The dream ended so fast. She sets her other chopstick down, avoiding your gaze. Takes a deep breath.
Eats half a bun and 2 pieces of egg.
Her voice is calm, but her hand clutches her worn jacket tightly. She's trembling all over. The sound of the chopsticks falling snaps you back to reality. You sense something's wrong. Looking closer, Emily's eyes are rimmed red, damp, like a heart soaked by rain. Your own heart clenches. Panic sets in. You were just upset she wasn't eating. Didn't mean to sound so harsh. You scared her. You reach out to hold her, but she pulls away. You panic more. Your 6-foot frame crouches before her, face full of alarm.
Sweetheart, I was just worried. I never meant to yell at you.
My tone softened. Emily couldn't hold back her sorrow. Tears began to fall. She was truly terrified earlier, thinking you'd reverted to that violent, wife-beating monster. My heart ached for her. I scooped her up in my arms and carried her into the east room. Daisy Turner had just sat on the stone stool, looking completely bewildered.
What on earth just happened? Left alone in the yard.
Your heart aches as you look at her in your arms. Her eyes are red from crying, her delicate nose tinged pink. Your heart feels twisted with pain. You kiss her eyelids and whisper softly.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. I was wrong. I was just afraid you'd skimp on food and spoke too harshly in my worry. I'm busy outside all day. Can't always watch you eat. I got anxious and my tone was rough.
Emily feels a little better, realizing she overreacted too. Lately, spoiled by his care, she's grown a bit spoiled. With things aired out, she feels even more embarrassed. Her pale fingers clutch his shirt front, eyes downcast, biting her lower lip, saying nothing. Then you suddenly ask,
Sweetheart, what's this?
Following his finger, she sees her milk has leaked. Before she can reply, you think of the recent fish tofu soup and venison, asking,
Is our little girl getting enough lately?
Emily's fair face flushed crimson, like a ripened persimmon. She pulled away from your arms, turning her back to you.
You go out first.
Her voice trembled slightly. Drinking Crucian soup daily. Not sure if it really helps. The baby's been on breast milk. No formula lately. Even so, the milk's still abundant. It aches during the day. Last night, this shameless one had some. Today felt easier. Yet it still leaked. Her face flushed red, fumbling with buttons, head down, completely unaware. You stared intently at her movements, watching eagerly. Emily had just removed her outer shirt when she noticed this shameless man was watching her. She instantly flustered.
What are you doing? Get out. I need to adjust my clothes.
You showed no sign of leaving. Instead, you leaned closer.
Darling, the baby's asleep. You're uncomfortable like this. Let me help.
Daisy Turner sat on the stone stool outside, chin resting in hand. It's already dark. The stars and moon are out. The couple still hadn't emerged. She didn't dare to barge in and check. All she could do was wait. A long time passed before the two came out of the room. Daisy noticed Emily's eyes were slightly damp, her cheeks flushed, and her lips a vivid, tempting red.
She must have been appeased.
Noticing Daisy's stare, Emily recalled what had just happened. Her face burning hot with embarrassment. She sat down and handed chopsticks to Daisy.
Let's eat.
She then passed another pair to the man beside her. After you took your seat, you never once glanced in Daisy's direction. You took a refined wheat bun for your wife. Grabbing a coarse grain bun, you took a large bite. Your mind was already on finding time to visit the reservoir, to catch some Crucian carp for her to nourish herself. After you took your seat, worried Daisy might feel uncomfortable, she offered her a refined wheat bun.
Please eat. Make yourself at home. Treat this place as your own.
Daisy took a small bite, her mind puzzling over a question.
Just how well off was this family? They ate refined wheat buns, scrambled eggs with pork. That's not bad even for town. Morning, the village chief's family eats dark corn buns with pickled radish. They say we're rich, but we live in 3 mud huts. Besides the TV bought today, we don't have a single decent piece of furniture. The bed he sleeps on is just a few planks thrown together. He's afraid it'll collapse if he turns over at night. Oh right, I heard him tell the tractor driver he wants to build a house. Then won't this old place be torn down? We won't have a place to live. So why did he let me stay? It's clear. This man only has eyes for Emily. He can't stand anyone else. He obviously doesn't want me living here.
Lost in these thoughts, and washed with the hot water, you stood up telling Emily to keep eating. You strode into the room. You turned on the light and picked up your daughter from her crib. Emily put down her chopsticks. She reached out to take the baby. You avoided her.
You eat first. I'm not hungry yet. I'll eat later.
Emily knew. He said he wasn't hungry, so she would eat first. He just got back from outside and was busy clearing things. How could he not be hungry? But she didn't say it. Picked up her chopsticks and kept eating. Daisy Turner kept her eyes down and nibbled on her bun, stealing glances at the couple's interaction. She couldn't help comparing it to her own family, her own brothers, back from work. Hardly ever held their kids. When the children cried, their wives dealt with it first, holding the child in one arm, struggling to eat with the other. But this man in front of her was pacing the yard, soothing the baby. She found it unbelievable. Emily finished her meal quickly, took the baby from the man, and went inside. Once she was gone, Daisy dared a quick glance at the young man across from her. He was devouring his bun and eggs. His handsome face was expressionless, cold and distant, a completely different person from when Emily was here. Daisy felt a chill. She grew restless and washed with the hot water.
I'm full, thank you.
She gathered the dishes, took them to the kitchen, washed them quickly, and retreated to the west room, not daring to come out again. Night had fallen completely. You sat alone in the yard and ate the last 4-course buns. A bowl of noodle soup completes a meal. Then you boiled another pot of water, carrying the basin back to the room.
You said, wife, you should freshen up. I'm going to the outhouse.
You set the basin down and left. Emily closed the door. She took off her clothes and washed with the hot water. Just after she dressed, a faint noise came from behind the house. She thought she was hearing things. Then a man's voice called from outside.
Sweetheart, are you bathing?
Goosebumps prickled her skin. She screamed. You were outside, just fastening your belt. Hearing the scream, you rushed back inside. You caught her as she threw herself into your arms. Holding her tight, you looked down and asked,
"What happened?"
Her arms locked around your waist. She was trembling.
Out back. Someone was there.
You lifted your dark eyes, gazing toward the yard wall. Sure enough, you saw a figure, scurrying away. Instantly, your eyes turned dangerously cold. You looked back at her, clad only in her undergarments. You scooped her up, laid her on the bed, and stepped out of the bedroom. You called to Daisy Turner at the west room door.
"Watch her for me, I'm going out."
Without another word, you strode out of the yard. Your tall figure vanished into the night. At Joey Doyle's house on the east end, neighbors heard his pitiful wails, and the dull thuds of fists. It made them shudder. They all knew you were a tough guy, a hard man at your core. Unsure how Joey had crossed you. From the sounds of it, you were laying into him. They feared he'd be beaten to death.
Ethan, I'm sorry. I went to see the sent-down youth, Daisy Turner, but I swear I saw nothing.
Hearing his pleas, you dislocated his jaw.
"What nonsense are you spouting? Weren't you craving meat? Go get some."
I'm sorry, fourth brother.
Joey Doyle couldn't even muster the strength to kneel. I was scared you'd kill him. For a moment, you really wanted to end him. But thinking of Emily and your daughter, you held back. Emily lay in bed. After a long while, she heard splashing in the yard. She knew you were back, taking a cold shower. 10 minutes later, she heard the door open and close. In the dark, you thought she was asleep. You tiptoed inside. You moved to get into bed, when a voice came from it.
You're back.
Emily reached over and turned on the light. The room lit up. You froze. She was propped on one elbow, her dark hair spilling over pale shoulders. Your gaze darkened. You climbed into bed. Reaching out, you turned off the light. In the darkness, holding her trim waist, you patted her back.
"It's okay now, dear. Sleep."
Before you returned, she couldn't sleep. Afraid you'd gone too far and killed him, or that the village would gossip. She was terrified. Now she curled against you like a kitten, her cheek pressed to your firm, warm chest. Listening to his strong, steady heartbeat, her sobs slowly subsided. She dared not cry aloud, afraid of waking their daughter. Seeing his wife like this, you felt you hadn't hit him hard enough. You thought your bad reputation would scare off the local thugs. Never imagined someone would still dare. But after today, those with ideas should think twice. Looking at the man, his face tired, thinking how he'd been leaving early, returning late, digging up dendrobium to sell, giving her the money, protecting her, comforting her. He really had changed. In the dark, Emily cried herself to exhaustion and drifted into a fitful sleep. Hearing his even breathing beside her, she finally relaxed. The next day, Emily was woken by voices outside. In the yard, Mrs. Carter added a big handful of white sugar to the boiled water and poured cups for the workers. Sugar was a real luxury those days. No one bought it lightly. Fiona drank a bowl of the sweet water and sidled up to Mrs. Carter. She asked quietly,
Sister-in-law, yesterday,
Did I hear your younger sister-in-law shouting?
Mrs. Carter set down the kettle. She eyed the gossipy Fiona.
You live a fair distance from Ethan's place, yet you heard all that? What? Nothing better to do at night than eavesdropping under their window?
Fiona just smirked. She didn't reply, thinking of last night. When she heard you beat that thug, Joey Doyle, half dead, she heard splashing in the yard. And now this city wife is causing trouble. I reckon she's cheating on you. He just had to tell someone. Mrs. Carter ignored her. She picked up the kettle to pour water for others. Coming to your side, she gave you a look.
In a low voice, she said, "Go check on Emily. Usually by this time, she'd be up. Don't let her get sick from the shock."
You, moving bricks, stopped your work. When you got up this morning, she was still asleep. It's almost 10 now. You lifted the curtain and entered the bedroom. She woke when you opened the door. Emily was awake. Instinctively, you pulled her into your arms. Turning your face, you said to her,
"Since you're awake, get dressed first. I'll bring your meal in soon."
Your voice was a bit hoarse. The curtains are drawn. It's noisy out there. Emily asks,
What's all that racket in the yard?
We're fixing the wall. It's a mess. Stay inside for now, dear. Still work to do.
Bricks to move.
Then let me go.
Just a bit longer.
You grin in reply, holding her tight, not letting go. You tell her,
Kiss me and I'll let go. 此行原文内容与上封重复，一省略。
Stop it. Let go. People are outside.
I'm not teasing. You're my wife. Won't you even kiss me? Don't you like me anymore?
You sound hurt. Emily starts to explain, but says nothing. She leans in.
Giving your cheek a quick peck.
There, now let go. You light up, your pretty eyes sparkling.
I really do love you, my wife.
Let go. Someone's outside. I'm bored stuck in here. I want to go help.
You didn't even think about it. You refused outright.
If you're bored, I'll ask sister-in-law to come chat later.
Emily knew going out was hopeless. Watching you head out the door, she went back to the bedroom to play with the baby. With so many helpers, the wall was finished by 4 that afternoon. The 2-meter-high wall was topped with broken glass. Without a ladder, scaling it would be tough for anyone. And with the glass on top, building a wall before the house, that's a first. Behind your house, Fiona giggled.
Last night when I went out to use the toilet, I saw Joey Doyle sneaking out of Emily's room. Bet they did it. No way. If that's true, Emily's such a bitch.
Hannah gasped. The 2 sisters-in-law whispered, exchanging meaningful looks. Their eyes on Emily were full of scorn. You saw it all, watching them closely. Heard every word. Those 2 need a beating. My uncle's daughters-in-law are like this? Said they came to help. Just here for the sweet drinks. Did you see? Fiona brought a mug. Her pockets were bulging, probably stuffed with snacks meant for the helpers. Plotted how to deal with them. Fiona and Hannah must be dealt with thoroughly to avoid future trouble. After dinner, you strolled to Uncle Thomas Brooks's house. Thomas Brooks and his sons lived together. They hadn't split the household. When you arrived, the Brooks family was eating. Seeing you, everyone was surprised.
Ethan, eaten yet?
Aunt Susan Foster shoveled food into her mouth. She saw you walking towards her. Didn't think much of it. You walked right up to Fiona. You grabbed her by the hair. Your action shocked everyone. Amid Fiona's shriek, they finally reacted. Kevin Brooks jumped up.
Ethan, have you lost your mind?
He smirked coldly.
What's wrong with me? Ask your wife.
Fiona never expected the news would reach you so fast. He's here already. You start listing Fiona's faults. Susan and Thomas turned pale. What kind of daughter-in-law is this? She's a curse. We always feared our son would learn bad ways from Ethan. We told him to stay away. Yet she dares spread lies. Fiona curses you silently, but she can't explain. Hannah stands up.
Maybe there's a misunderstanding? Ethan, let her go. Fiona is your sister-in-law.
Hannah, you're no good either. Sit down.
See? Birds of a feather. Hannah looks awkward. She glances at her husband. Kevin stays silent. He won't get involved. You slap Fiona hard.
Shut your lying mouth. I'll smash it.
Fiona is stunned. She never thought you'd dare. No one in the family stops you. You slapped Fiona 6 times before stopping. You let go of her. Fiona was seeing stars. She could barely stand. She stumbled and fell onto Thomas. He shoved her away hard.
Thomas muttered, "You were asking for it."
Serves you right. Fiona, you're an idiot. Can't stand to see Ethan and his wife happy. How dare you spread such lies? You're clearly trying to stir up trouble.
I never said those things.
No one pitied her, even after being beaten. All she could do was deny it. Fiona had nowhere left to turn.
You never said those things? Do you dare swear to it?
Fiona was too naive. No match for a shrewd opponent like you.
If you're lying, your whole family dies. Your parents die horribly. Your children die horribly.
That shut Fiona up. He was guilty, stammering, speechless. What really happened was now clear to all. You looked at everyone.
Listen up. If I hear gossip in this village, trying to split me and my wife, I won't be nice. Any injuries are on you.
With that, you kicked Fiona twice. Seeing this, Kevin stepped up and beat his wife again. Fiona's face was swollen. Beaten, she begged for mercy. Still, no one dared to intervene. You stayed, still seething. Interfere, and you'll pay. After a moment, Susan sighed.
Enough. Hurting her costs money.
Kevin's raised hand slapped Fiona's face. Her lip bled from the hit.
I'll shut your mouth. Next time, I'll sew it shut.
You snorted, and you left. He strutted off. The only sound in the house was Fiona's sobbing. Nothing else. After he'd been dealt with, Fiona was quite pleased. He went home to his wife, happy. Seeing him leave, Thomas Brooks gave Susan Foster a look. He sent her and the 2 daughters-in-law to clean the kitchen. In the main room, Thomas smoked in silence. He tapped his tobacco pipe on the table. Kevin and his brother hung their heads, not daring to speak.
Kevin, Robert, you two keep your wives in line. If any gossip about Ethan's family spreads, I can't save your skins. You don't want to cross Ethan. He's been turning over a new leaf lately. But I'm telling you, don't come crying to me later. Anyway, I'm done.
With a creak, the old wooden door was pushed open. Fiona Reed hurriedly closed her eyes. She hadn't even decided what to do. It had been months since the wedding, and her belly showed no sign. Her in-laws and her husband had just watched her get beaten without lifting a finger. What kind of people were they? Kevin Brooks came in and said nothing. He sat on the edge of the heated brick bed, deep in thought. His mind was in turmoil, anything but calm. His cousin was no simple man. His father's advice was not to provoke him, but his own wife was quite a beauty. To let her go completely, to send her back to her parents' home. He couldn't bear to do it. They locked eyes. Neither spoke. After a while, Fiona Reed crawled up.
I was wrong.
Kevin Brooks was surprised. He never thought she'd admit fault, seeing his silence.
Fiona Reed said, I'll be dutiful from now on. Live properly with you. I promise I won't step outside the main gate, nor leave the inner courtyard.
Kevin Brooks stared at her for a moment, then turned and left. Fiona Reed watched his retreating back, her sharp tongue at a loss. Maybe she should take the initiative? Today's beating couldn't be for nothing. Early the next morning, Emily Bennett divided the proof dough into 5 small pieces. She placed them in the pan, frying until golden on both sides. About to break off a piece to taste, she was startled by a hug from behind. He was tall, having to bend to wrap his arms around her. His chin rested in the crook of her neck. Emily flinched, then recognized his scent and relaxed. Drowsily, she turned her head and saw him eyeing the food in her hand. She smiled faintly and fed him the piece of flatbread.
Good?
It's good. You don't need to get up so early to make me breakfast. Just cuddle with the baby and sleep in.
Your smile was genuine and warm. Emily naturally wanted to do something for you.
He was going hunting. It's cold in the mountains. Something hot is good. Earlier, she saw you just grab some dry rations and leave.
I'm heading out.
After breakfast, he put on his heavy boots, shouldered the bamboo baskets, and headed up the hill. After nearly 2 hours, he found the dendrobium. He took out his tools and got to work. By noon, the dendrobium was all harvested. Seeing it was still early, he didn't head down right away. He searched nearby for dead wood, hoping for some luck, and indeed he found a big haul. He strode over. Mushrooms? No, dried mushrooms aren't that bright red. They were 4 reishi mushrooms of varying sizes. This trip was worth it. Why hadn't he noticed before? This deep mountain is full of treasures. He set down the basket, laid it with leafy grass, cut the reishi with a sharp blade, and placed them inside. He covered them with a thick layer of grass. As he turned to leave, from the corner of his eye, out of the corner of your eye, you spot a small hole by the chestnut tree. Loose soil and footprints are scattered around it. Badger tracks. Looks like a badger den. Badger meat is tasty. Good for your wife's health. Badger oil is a rare medicine, but badgers are clever and sly. Catching one is hard. You decide to try the smoke-out method. You find some dried chilies in your storage. Carefully, you stuff the chilies and dry wood into the hole. The fire crackles. Thick, pungent smoke billows out. It fills the badger den. You step back and wait. The badger will smell the smoke. It'll try to escape. You've set a cloth trap at the entrance. Now you wait for it to run into the trap. It's a gamble. Badger complexdens, cleverly designed, often with many exits. He remembers from Animal World. Some dens have over 130 exits. Time ticks by. The woods are quiet. Only birdsong breaks the silence. You watch the hole closely, your palms damp with sweat. Waited half an hour, nothing. Was about to give up, ready to douse the fire with wet branches. Movement at the den's entrance. A furry badger's head poked out, eyes wide with fear in the smoke. Then its whole body scrambled out, panicked and dashed toward the trap net. You acted fast, yanked the rope tight, securing the badger in the net. The badger weighed around 22 pounds. 1 in 6 den chance. Catching one this size, you were more than satisfied. Fetched water from the pocket realm. After making sure the fire was out, you headed back down the hill. Meanwhile, some villagers heard you bought a television. Curious, they came by to see what it looked like. All day long, your home was bustling. People came and went. Some villagers, seeing the building supplies delivered, asked about it and were shocked to hear you were building a house. They had all sorts of opinions. No one thought you'd succeed. They doubted you had the money. Some even whispered you were wasteful, spending so much on a useless box. A waste of money and electricity. Chuya was exhausted, dealing with the visitors. It was busier than her wedding day. She finally sat down to rest. When she saw you return with baskets, her eyes lit up. She came to you with the baby. She noticed the baskets were full of plants. By now, just seeing those leaves, she knew you'd found something. She wondered how you got so lucky. Dendrobium is rare and hard to come by, yet you kept finding it. Emily wore her new red sweater. It brightened her complexion. He was dazzled for a moment. As she approached, he leaned in to kiss her cheek. She blushed and pulled away. Emily thought he was being improper, wanting to kiss her in broad daylight.
Daisy and sister-in-law were right there.
Only then did he notice the villagers inside. He looked at his wife, puzzled. Emily saw his confusion. She explained.
The neighbors wanted to see the television. Luckily, sister-in-law helped handle the crowd.
He nodded. He tried to take the baby from her, but saw his clothes were dirty. So he carried the basket to the kitchen. To Emily, who followed, he whispered a few words by her ear. Emily glanced at the basket.
She nodded in understanding.
I don't know how much he got. Heading to town again tomorrow, but I didn't ask. With all these people still here, he dares come this close. He's changed so much lately. Noticing his wife's furtive glances, you grin from ear to ear. Smack, smack. You kiss her cheeks. No one said a word. Your hands wander, resting on her slender waist. How can it be so tiny? Probably less than 18 inches.
Sweetheart, eat well even when I'm gone. You need to eat properly. You're too thin.
Held firmly by you, Emily, holding the baby, glares. She was about to scold him when sister-in-law called from outside.
Since Ethan's back, I'll head home, Emmy. Old Joe will be back from the field soon.
She started to leave, noticing his wife's furtive glances. Wait, let me hand you the baby. She left the kitchen, went to the east room for rock sugar. She pressed it into her hand. She was afraid you'd change your mind. Rock sugar is a luxury. She saved it all. If not for sister-in-law's help, things would have been even harder for her and the baby. Sister-in-law heard many villagers were coming to see the TV, so she stopped her spinning to help. Without her here today, with so many people, I couldn't have handled it all. When we were poor before, we always took advantage of her kindness. Now we're better off. I want to repay her a little. Even between sisters-in-law, you can't always take without giving.
Sister-in-law, Ethan bought this. Take it home for the kids.
No, I couldn't. Keep it for your little one.
Please, just take it.
Sister-in-law stared at the half-pound of rock sugar in her hand. She quickly tried to give it back. Sugar water is for honored guests. Ordinary folks can't afford this. If a new bride brought this when returning home, her family would be so proud. They went back and forth several times. The bag was nearly torn. Finally, she reluctantly accepted the rock sugar. Then she turned and headed home. Emily was afraid you'd blame her for acting on her own. She stammered nervously, wringing her hands.
Ethan, we owe so much to Aunt Susan's help. It was just so crowded back then. I was swamped and completely overwhelmed. I nearly forgot to eat. I gave the rock sugar to her. Please don't be angry. And please don't do anything rash, like trying to get it back.
Seeing her timid, fearful look felt like a hand was squeezing your heart. It was heartbreaking. She still didn't trust you, always afraid that a wrong word would make you hit or scold her. You truly had brought this on yourself. Your silence made Emily even more anxious, like she had done something wrong. Felt like a hand was squeezing your heart.
I won't do it again. Please don't be angry.
Holding your daughter with one arm, you pulled your wife close with the other. Some things needed to be said clearly between you. Misunderstandings shouldn't be left to fester overnight. They only grow worse. In a marriage, the worst thing is not communicating properly. Without it, everything falls apart. Patting her back, your chin resting on her hair, you spoke in a very gentle tone.
Sweetheart, you're the boss here. You handle the money. Buy whatever you want. I'll back your decisions. I'm not just saying that. I mean it.
At first, Emily thought you were just being contrary, but you kept saying it with such conviction. She finally believed you. Heaven knows he was holding his breath, afraid she'd snap. Seeing her breathing steady, you finally relaxed. Guess I'll have to talk with her every night. I want to take her to town for a break, but I know she'd refuse. She'd fear I'd sell our girl the moment we got there. Still, I think she needs some fresh air.
Want to take a walk with me down the hill? I'll get you a quail for a decent meal.
Emily was tempted, not for the quail. But lately, he won't let her earn work points. He wants her home, resting, just caring for the baby. She worked the fields the day after giving birth. Back then, he didn't care. Now he suddenly does. I wonder what he promised Village Chief Brooks. Two able-bodied men now, neither working the fields, and the village chief doesn't even push them. You see, your wife is clearly tempted, but still hesitating. Her eyes darting around the yard. You know she's worried if they both leave, their things won't be safe. You laugh heartily.
It's fine. Wait a moment.
With that, you carry the baby out of the kitchen. Not sure what you said to them, but everyone in the main room comes out. You even shoo Daisy Turner out. Daisy actually wanted to follow the family of 3 to the foot of the hill. They say there are tigers up there, so the sent-down youths all steer clear. But seeing she's not welcome, she just wanders aimlessly around the village. On the way, you notice your wife keeps glancing at you, hesitant to speak. You stop walking and look at her expectantly. Emily gathers her courage.
Ethan, could I visit my parents tomorrow?
That's it? I'll go with you tomorrow.
It's been so long since the wedding, and the man beside her finally seems human again. He knows to earn money for the family, to care for his wife and child. Emily wants to go back home, set your mother's heart at ease, end her worry over marrying badly. You thought your wife had braced herself for terrible news, and it's just this, holding our daughter in one arm, your hand in the other. I'll go with you tomorrow.